Welcome to Brand You,
the ultimate personal branding podcast.
I'm Caz Grant.
And I'm Toby Lee.
Together, we're here to help demystify personal branding
and to make it accessible and effective for everyone.
Follow along as we guide you through creating your own personal branding journeys.
So, let's get started.
Let's brand you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Brand You podcast, proudly sponsored by Spark House here in Lincoln.
Today we're going to be diving into storytelling secrets and helping you craft a narrative that connects with your audience. Fucking hell.
Boom.
We're back, baby.
Easy, isn't it?
Well,
Easy.
Now what?
Yeah, now we've got to actually say something useful. What are your trainers, by the way?
Thanks very much.
So,
Wait.
shall I just put you on the spot and let's say what is a brand story,
Brand
Caz?
story, yeah.
So, Caz, what is a brand story? Why do we have them? Why do we need to consider what our brand story is?
Yeah, so I think it's just one way nowadays that you can really create a narrative that, like we said in the intro to this, connects with your audience. So because it's personal branding and this is all about humans and human connection and everything like that, if we're sharing things in our journey through storytelling, if we're taking listeners and our audience along on a journey with us, that's going to be so powerful. It's going to break down their walls and their barriers. Their sales resistance is going to go down, but also we're going to resonate and connect with them on deeper levels. They're essentially, once we've told the story of our journey as well and given them all of that kind of information, that know, like, and trust is going to be built like rapido.
Yeah.
So we're really going to get into the heart of our audience. Whereas if you're just creating a normal narrative and it's not really that storytelling element, again, that sales resistance barrier can come up. People will just switch off to it. It's just noise. It's just noise online, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's kind of becomes the differentiator, doesn't it, between different businesses offering same services, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
or products.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain. If you say Apple, you don't just think iPhone or Mac. You think of Steve Jobs. You think of evolution of tech and things like that, and the sort of bigger picture of things. But that is distinctly different to if I say Google or Microsoft or Samsung. And I feel like we talk about Gymshark quite a bit on this show, but mainly because it is a great example of kind of utilising a personal brand within a big business.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, didn't they say they're on for a £1 billion year or something, or half a billion, something ridiculous. I saw the other day. But when you think of Gymshark, you think of the story and the background behind it and the choices they've made and what you've heard of them as they've grown, which differentiates them from, say, Nike, who also do gym wear. It kind of becomes a tool to engage with your audience on a deeper level, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, Gymshark, Ben's been at the forefront of that, and through his personal brand, he's helped grow that. But again, when you look at Nike or Nike, they've not used maybe a CEO or a founder, have they? But they still tell their storytelling through real people, through the athletes that they partner with, the people that they work with, the brand ambassadors that they have on board. So there's still storytelling elements to that brand, isn't there, in the bigger brands out there?
So when it comes to our own brand story, how do we identify what we include, what we don't include, what's useful to our target audience and not? Have you got any sort of tips on that?
Again, it goes back to the clarity side of it, doesn't it? And I think was it season 1, we maybe went into this a bit, so maybe go back and look at that. But it's again really getting to know yourself, what you offer, what your goals are for this, what do you want to achieve, who are you as a person, what kind of things do you want to put out in the world, what background have you gone through that gives you the storytelling elements as well, because your background dictates where you are today and where you're starting from and where you're starting your personal brand from. And then that journey of it will evolve and go along. But, where are you starting from today? What have you gone through? Why have you started a personal brand? Why have you started a business if personal branding is to share your business,
Yeah.
like what has made you take all of those steps and go there? And then you're mirroring that up, aren't you, with your ideal audience as well? So okay, so this is who I am and everything about me part of it, and this is that story side of it. But then my ideal audience is also the other side to that story, because I'm talking from me, but I'm talking to them. So I need to marry that up a little bit, don't I? So if you can really get to know your ideal audience as well and sort of understand their stories and what's maybe led them to where they are today a bit better, that'll just help you align those two things. And again, share your stories, but in a way that speaks directly to them. Because we're all humans, like there's only a limited amount of really experiences that we go through, good, bad and ugly, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like there's so many times that we'll connect with others, because like I've got divorced before, so that instantly connects me with other divorcees. We start a business before, that instantly connects us to other people starting businesses and entrepreneurs. Men like to hang out with other men, women like to hang out with other women. Like there's all these different things that connect us, and it's like, okay, so I'm this and my ideal audience is that. How can I start connecting the dots and start speaking to them through my superpowers, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like that personal touch, isn't it? That, again, as I mentioned, being that differentiator. But a lot of businesses, you don't connect directly with your customer unless they're buying. Whereas when we're talking about personal branding being an avenue to connect with people on an emotional level, to give them more reason to kind of buy into what you're offering, it's a really powerful tool, isn't it? It can be if it's used right. I had a really interesting conversation with a client this week that didn't know anything about my background with like acting and things. So when they came into the studio and saw some actor headshots that are on the wall, and they thought, oh, they're a bit different. You know, I didn't know you did like actor photos. I said, oh, yeah, well, actually, I went to drama school. No way, you didn't. You know, and suddenly it becomes, you know, a really interesting topic. But for them, it's changed the context of how they then see any of my work and what I show of their photos going forward, because they're going to see it in a different light. You know, so that's my brand story coming after, when they've already bought in and, you know, decided to work with me. And then it works the other way that, you know, sometimes I can mention it, or it's, you know, it's definitely sort of used on my website. That's my background. That's how I now take quite dramatic editorial photos sometimes, things like that. That can be what leads people to go, you know what, I want to work with him over the other great photographers out there, because I'm looking for that's resonated with me for whatever reason. So it's interesting. You never know where in that sort of process or pipeline it's going to sit and click for someone. And it can be really useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with me. The other day, I put a post out, and I was talking about like, I just see it all the time on my LinkedIn, people reposting company posts, and their whole feed then just becomes reposted company posts. So essentially, you're not following the company's post because you don't want to see that anyway. You're not going to be following them or engaging with them either, are you? So it's like, if we could just use it through personal branding and again, your own narrative and your own storytelling, and if employees could be encouraged to do that more, the business and the brand will get so much more exposure from it. So I shared that post and I didn't think anything of it. And then I had a meeting yesterday with somebody, and this shares, like, kind of ties into what we were going to go into with the messy middle part of storytelling and stuff. But it was really interesting yesterday. I had a meeting with this person, and they had a meeting with me based off of that post. So they'd seen that post, something had clicked in their head again. They hadn't commented on it. Had they liked it? I don't even think they'd liked it. I don't know. You know, it was someone that I didn't really realise was watching that post. And had a meeting with them, and it, you know, that we might be working in a certain way with each other, which will be great. But there was another avenue that I think actually their personal brand could be really, really powerful. They actually want to get me in to just help with their employees' personally branding, which is great. But I think the real power is really with them. But they're not at that stage yet where they're ready to put themselves out there. And what came back from that, which I hadn't thought of before, with my ideal audience or my own messaging, putting that across to people, was they haven't been proud of their business up to date.
Right, okay.
So they've been in the messy middle.
Yeah.
They're coming out of it now. Now, like, success is hitting and big things are happening and it's great, and they're through that kind of hardship part.
Yeah.
So I think they will start sharing more again once they've got their head around all of that. But it was really interesting to me that they said about that proud part, because how many people out there aren't connecting with their audience, aren't sharing their stories, aren't doing that side of it and taking people along on that journey because they don't feel like they've got something they're proud of yet. They almost don't feel like they can share that because it's not fully formed yet. It's not there. But how powerful is it when you as a person watch people going from naught
Yeah.
to starting something, sharing it out there anyway, being brave,
Yeah.
getting real and honest with the audience. Again, maybe not sharing everything if you're in thousands of pounds worth of debt and that's like really hard. You don't have to, there's elements you
If
don't
things are
have
really
to
going
share.
south. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could still, like, I don't know, if there's a challenge or something that you've had as you're just out of that challenge, like, what was the challenge? What was that story part of it? How did you get out of it? Because that's really inspirational to other people. And it shows that the thing that I like about it and that connects with me as another business owner, person growing a business, I'm in the messy middle.
Yeah.
I'm in the pit, I'm scrambling, I'm doing all the stuff, but internally you feel like, oh my God, is this ever gonna click? I called it the click. They were in the click part. They're now in the click part of their business. Everything's clicking and they're flourishing, which is amazing. But I'm not at the fully click part yet. I'm still building, still figuring things out, still going through that messy middle struggle part. And you're thinking, when you're in that, it's so nice to hear from others that are just a little bit further along than you or have had similar struggles that are still pushing, still striving, because you'll never get successful unless you go through that part. And how many people quit, fail, give up in that part because they didn't have anybody that was telling them this is just how it is.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
just how a building it is. You push through that part and then you get to the part where everything's juicy. So sharing that messy middle, I think, is hugely important, isn't it? And that is a juicy, chunky part of your storytelling, I think, if you're brave enough to share it. But you've shared everything up until date, really, haven't you? Like, you've shared the conceptions of building your business pretty much in public.
Yeah.
So there's been ups and downs and highs and lows of that, but you've not stopped yourself because you thought, I've not created a fully fledged business yet. Why can I can't share?
No, and listening to you sort of share that example, I can sort of see where the fear of like sharing too much comes from.
Yeah.
But particularly if you've already got obviously current clients and that they're invested and they've bought in, but then you start sharing that actually behind the scenes, you're spinning plates, you don't want to do anything that's going to make them feel uncomfortable with the service they're getting or anything like that.
Yeah.
But then there is also the power to tell what you want to tell.
Yeah.
Certainly don't butter things up and make them seem extremely better than they are.
Yeah.
But you can choose what information you do share and what you don't choose to just keep behind closed doors.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's something I find quite useful of going, making that decision of going, what impact does it have on my audience if I do share this part with them? What are the pros and cons? Does it, is it authentic? Is it transparent to share this? Is that going to inspire some connections or help or support in that way? Or is it something that actually that could potentially detract from the image I'm building of my brand, So it's constant decision making, isn't it? But there's definitely huge value in doing so.
Yeah.
I guess the other pro as well of what I do is anything I share from a kind of building a business point of view usually aligns with what my clients are going through, or potential clients that are going to look for photos for their business. They're at stages of growth and which I guess every business is on some sort of journey, isn't it? So it kind of kind of works from that sense. And I guess the same for you. You know, the reason somebody would need your services is they need support with building that brand. So
Yeah.
it
So I
makes sense
guess
for you to be open.
if you're in a B2B business kind of world, then maybe that storytelling and getting a bit more real with it is useful because they're also building. And business is business, isn't it? Like, and humans are humans. Humans will go through certain particular struggles over their life. So you're not the only one that is ever going to go through that struggle. There are loads of other people that are going to go through that struggle. And businesses are the same, aren't they? Like, you can have different businesses, but essentially building a business is pretty similar to building another business. Like once you've done it once, you can do it again. Different industries, slightly different challenges maybe and different stuff. But the storytelling elements that you could share that isn't going to damage your reputation or be bad for client views would inspire other businesses, would help them get through stuff. So again, it's picking your narratives, isn't it, and what you want to share, but not holding back, sharing as much as you possibly can and are comfortable with, despite not having it fully formed, despite not being Elon Musk yet.
Yes.
Because if Elon Musk or even Ben Francis from Gymshark, if he hadn't shared because he hadn't built Gymshark to this $1 billion level yet, it wouldn't be at the $1 billion level in the first place. It wouldn't have got there because people wouldn't have bought into him. They wouldn't have bought into his mission. They wouldn't have wanted to support with him, collaborate and fund, invest in his business. It just wouldn't have happened, would it, without his personal brand?
And I think it's acknowledging when something feels uncomfortable about sharing because you genuinely don't think it's good for business to share it, or trying to analyse, is it just the way I feel in that messy middle? And I don't think you ever, as a business owner, you're always going to care so much about what you're doing. You're always going to be looking for like next step and stage. You know, I'm sure Elon Musk he's constantly looking for what to do next. You know, so I don't think you ever necessarily get out of that messy middle to an extent. You know, you were always in there.
And even if you do get out of a certain section of messy middle, I think the whole like thing of being an entrepreneur and a business builder, like you almost crave that messy middle bit. So even once you're out of that messy middle, maybe you want to expand. Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you want to create another monetary platform to your business or whatever. So even then you're like, oh, let me dive into another messy middle. Figure that one out. But you don't stop right there, do you? You're like, okay, bigger, bolder, different, expand. So you're always going to be in it in some form or another, aren't you, as a business owner? And as a human, again, going through life, like you don't just get to like, I don't know, 40, 30, 50, 60 and it's like, figured it out now, nothing bad is going to happen. Everything's just going to flatline and life's going to be perfect. I'm just going to toodle along, getting good things, waking up happy every day. Easy. No, there's always going to be.
The line gets longer and you never get to that flattening out.
And it's the, I guess, a good thing that people could, and I don't quite, I can't remember who has come up with this concept or who has created the book that this is in, but it's the hero's journey or the hero's story.
Right, yeah.
Have you heard of that before?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So I've got a basic concept of it, but it's like, you know, every film, everything that's been created, even the founder stories that we're loving at the moment, that everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm invested in this business because of this person. It's the hero's journey, isn't it? None of us, again, flatline throughout our whole life and just have everything perfect. We want to follow like someone who gets brave and starts something, and then there's a bit of trouble in between, and maybe we need to fight the villain, and we need to do this, that, and the other. We need to slay the dragons, and then suddenly, everything's great, and they live happily ever for 5 minutes, and then they go on another hero's journey. So it's that hero's journey of life as well, isn't it?
I want to root for someone.
What's your hero's journey of your personal brand? Like, how can you position yourself as that sort of hero, and not egotistically, like, I'm the best hero, but like you're the main character of your life, of your personal brand. How can you showcase that to the world through your storytelling? How can you take people along on that journey? And by all means, go and Google the hero's journey to get a bit more information on that one. But I think that's a good way of people looking at it as well. We don't root. no one gets behind the oh, well done. Oh, you smashed it again. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, you're at 1 million. How many times do you see on LinkedIn people slating people who are doing those, stood in front of my Ferrari, I make 7 figures a day, you can too, blah, 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 right? We don't like those people.
Yeah.
Those people are smug. Get out of our way. Like, that's not reality. Like, we like the people that are
want the
struggling a
underdog.
bit. We want the underdog. We want to cheer for them. We want to like help them. We want to see them succeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe channel a bit more underdog and share that.
Yeah, so the brand story is our why, isn't it? It's like the why we do what we do or what we're offering. And it can be a really useful tool for sales as well, can't it? So if we're talking about networking or making introductions to people, if I was to sit here now, having just met you, and rather than tell you about my headshot photography work, I just share with you my brand story, and this is why I do what I do. That's almost just as powerful, isn't it? Than me boring you to death going, well, actually, I have this package in the studio at this price, and this includes that. You know,
Yeah.
if I were to tell you my story and the conversation were there to end because we get cut off or whatever, and, you know, you're going away now knowing exactly what I'm about, why I do what I do, and it doesn't really matter how I do it. Whenever you need headshots, hopefully you're going to go, I'll give Toby a quick message and find out the how then.
Yeah.
So it can be really interesting if you're sharing your brand story on a consistent basis through your content, through everyone you meet, have it really succinct in a way that you can tell it in a way that's interesting. And the story is the biggest part of that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
because also nobody likes sitting down next to someone and they start reeling off what they do. I feel like they're being sold to. We know that.
Yeah.
We know people hate being sold to. But there is something about, you know, I love some great storytellers that I've met previously at like networking things. When you sort of say, so what is it you do? And they go, oh yeah, well, you know when you're in such and such a scenario, and they sort of take you on this little like analogy and little
Yeah.
journey somewhere, and they go, yeah, that's what I do. That's why I do that. And you're sort of taken on this little arc in 30 seconds. And you think, wow, what a great roundabout way. I've been made to feel something. There were times when I didn't know where this was going to go, and there was a bit of an unexpected, but also I'm going to remember it. I'm going to remember that person and the story. And I'm probably going to tell other people the story.
Yeah.
You know,
Because emotions
yeah.
connect more than facts, don't
And you
they?
remember the emotion more.
You can remember
Yeah.
the emotions more. And that's why, like, you know, the news tries to sell us all the bad stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, like you feel that on a deep level, like you're intrigued, you're like,
Yeah.
it sucks you in.
And we're constantly saying, oh, did you see that on the news the other day?
that on
Did
the
you
news?
see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets you talking, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if you've made someone feel something, ooh,
Yeah.
powerful to not only if they've had an emotional feeling towards it, like you say, remembering it. Remembering it's great because you'll get a lot of things through referrals from other people, because then when someone else says something as well, you remember that feeling, you impart that feeling on someone else, they're going to go to you. But also getting them to do something. Again, that sales resistance. I don't want a fact. I don't want to be sold to. I don't want a price. I don't want to like why? I don't know what's going to make me move. What's going to make me want to move? And it is that feeling that like you're going to solve something for me. Like you are the one that's going to finally help me do this thing that nobody else has been able to do, because they've just fired facts and figures at me, and I'm like, oh. Like, I want to work with you. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And I think this will be very difficult maybe for people, and it's probably something you're going to have to again practice, hone. And this is why I kind of share the messy middle parts of this, because it's hard to do this storytelling element as well. So you're gonna have to get a bit messy with it and just test and trial, and because you're not gonna know what's gonna make people feel maybe at the start. You're not gonna know what creates emotion in people unless you do it and you get that feedback back, and it's like, that resonated, that caught something with them, that made them have a feeling. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Like content, like with that person I spoke to yesterday, I didn't realise that piece of content would hit that person in that way and would resonate with them.
Yeah.
But it did. I now know for next time, what kind of message to share, kind of how to share it, what sort of things that I could potentially do and expand further into based off of that.
Yeah.
Posts that have done really well recently, as well as like, I just wanted to boost my engagement a little bit. I'm a normal human. I want to resonate with people. Again, the weather, huge in the UK, isn't it? Like, you're too hot, you're too cold. Everyone's having weather debates at the moment, heating debates in the office, and then also like Christmas songs.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 things that I've kind of just popped into my narrative on, you know, boosting engagement things, because it's getting people commenting, it's getting people engaging. I am showing people the inside of the office. I'm showing people where I live. I'm showing people like my sense of humor a bit with it, like who they're going to work with within that quirk normally. And I'm resonating, like I'm starting those conversations. So it can be even like silly storytelling things like that along the way that again just connects with people and gets them to know that you're an actual human, and it's not scary if they contact you and get in touch with you and all the rest of it, because you're normal. So yeah. If you're starting a business or just want a space that helps you focus and grow, then you will want to check out Spark House at the University of Lincoln.
It's right in the heart of the city with creative energy and practical support.
They've got flexible office spaces, specialist business mentoring with physical tenancies.
And they even have virtual office options if you're not quite ready for a full-time desk.
Having supported over 1,000 businesses since opening, Spark House has a track record for helping startups succeed.
If you need an office space in Lincoln, email sparkhouse@lincoln.ac.uk and check out the show notes for that email address to get in touch.
So I guess we could, because we've spoken a lot about sort of business people and entrepreneurs maybe that are sharing their narrative and their storytelling. And I think founders, business people, they've probably got a story or something that they've thought of throughout this podcast episode. But let's flip it to kind of our audience that are maybe more employees, they're employed. And I know we pick on these a lot, don't we? But I think it's just really easy to kind of a thing for people to kind of resonate with as well. Like when we think of like maybe accountants, or, you know, your traditional jobs that are maybe wanting to put themselves out there and personally brand, and they're thinking, well, what's my story? You know, like I'm employed, so it's really a job. What could I share? And there was a few things we were talking about before about that, wasn't there? And I think that might be quite interesting for our audience.
Yeah, well, there's a kind of like category of jobs and businesses or services that when you ask what do you do, they sort of say, oh, well, it's really boring, but I do such and such. You know, it's like the biggest turn off for networking there possibly is, isn't there? It's like the biggest red flag. Like, why is anyone going to go, oh, I'll remember you then when I need. So this is where brand story can be really interesting, to take people on a bit of a journey, delve it for yourself, delve into why it is you do what you do and find those reasons, isn't it?
Yeah. Why it is what you do, and also like how you help people, because sometimes there might be a really powerful story of what you do and why you do it. So if we're taking like the accountant, generally speaking, possibly when they were growing up, their dad, family member, whoever had a business, and maybe because the accounts went wrong or something, they saw their dad lose that business all of a sudden. They maybe then grew up and thought, oh my gosh, I want to help people in that situation. Therefore, they became accountants and blah, blah, blah. So they might have a powerful story like that. Other people are possibly accountants because they need the money and they want a job, and they thought accountancy, money, job, we'll get all of that sorted. So some of them might not have that powerful backstory to it. For those people, I think their story could be how they now help people. Like there will be bits that they do within their role that they love doing because they see the results that their clients get, that the people get, that even if it's a product-based business, like are they helping people get healthier? Are they helping people change their skin? Or I don't know, whatever it is, like those storytelling bits that you can share. So instead of, I went through this, I helped a client the other week who had this issue. Oh my God, it was so interesting because they went from failing business to flourishing business because we changed their tax blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not an accountant, but that kind of narrative for things, and using their clients and their experience within the organization to maybe share more.
Yeah, and it kind of like links back to the hero story you
Hero
mentioned,
story.
doesn't it? You know,
Yeah.
you're giving that solution. That's how you won that segment of life.
Like, yeah,
You know,
like,
that little story. You know, that's how that
yeah,
concludes. The solution, it puts you in a great position from where the story started.
yeah.
So what would be the sort of main tips for people of how they go about doing this? I guess understanding that start point as to what was the catalyst for you to decide to do what you're doing.
Yeah. Or what do you love about doing it now?
Yeah.
If there was no catalyst,
Yeah.
what do you love about doing it now? Who do you help? That kind of thing. Again, thinking about the stories within your organization that you can tell. If you're starting out and you've maybe not had your own story yet of people that you've helped,
Yeah.
the business will be helping people. How does the business help people? Is there a team member that you can tell the story of or shine a light on, or, you know, and that's great as well, isn't it, for bonding within your organization? Like, you're shining a light on somebody else within the organization, saying they're brilliant. Like, that's cool. Clients will like it, your team will like it, your boss will like it. Like, everyone's happy with that. So yeah, it's just getting the clarity, and it's getting the clarity and expanding your mind and thinking about these things. We're not going on social media as a personal brand to post, buy my stuff, do my thing. This is, you know, this is what I have to offer. This is buy.
Yeah.
We're going on to engage people, to connect people, to solve people's problems, to give value. There are ways that we can all do that. And there are ways that we can do that through storytelling. It's finding those stories for you. And do you know what? Maybe use ChatGPT to elicit the stories from you. I love a good ramble at the moment into ChatGPT. Turn your voice recorder on and just say, look, I'm thinking about doing this with my personal brand. I don't know how to do it. Like, there was this guy the other day at work that had this issue and I helped him do that, blah, 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 blah. Offload it all into there.
Yeah.
It will help you formalize it in probably a better way, or again, spark more ideas for you to do that.
Yeah, and even ask you some questions, you know, to clarify on things, or
Yeah.
send you in directions that you hadn't quite considered.
Yeah. It's a hugely powerful tool at the moment to get that out of your brain.
Yeah.
Because we all have it, but we don't realize how powerful we are. We don't realize we've all got stories. We always think that we're boring, that no one would find us interesting, that we haven't got any powerful stories, all the rest of it that our brains tell us. But it's not true. We all have in some way.
And I guess the next best step is to start testing your brand story, because every time you communicate it, whether it's verbally to someone in conversation or through your content, you're going to tweak it slightly, aren't you? I know my story's evolved as to analysing which bits I've thought have landed really well in the past, or which bits got more of a response. You know, mentioning that I went to drama school usually gets a bit of a, oh really? You know, so I drop that in, and you sort of work out which bits you don't need. That's just fluff. That I can take that bit out, so it becomes really concise, really engaging for people, and just start testing the waters with it. Because again, there's a confidence level personally in doing that as well, because we're asking people to do something that will feel personal, will feel quite. It might make you feel a little bit out
of your comfort
what's the opposite
zone
of
a bit.
introverted?
Extroverted.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, you know, you might feel like you're sticking your neck out a little bit to do this, but start gauging the reaction, start seeing what changes about the way people talk. If people start asking you questions more about what you do or why you do it, then you know you've engaged someone. And how valuable is that? That's fantastic.
Yeah. Even if you've gone from content that gets no views and no conversation to content that suddenly starts getting views and conversation, even if it's not about your business. Because the business posts will do the work alongside that. People will see them, they might not engage with them, but the ones that they're engaging with, they're the ones that really get those people connecting with you. And then when they see that business post, they'll message you about the business thing, but they'll only message you about the business thing if you've warmed them up, talking about you and life and personal stuff a little bit, or not even personal stuff, but you know, the connection elements to that. You got to warm them up to get the business chats going. So today's action step, we would like you to gain a bit more clarity, have a little think about some of your brand story, and then use ChatGPT if you need to just kind of hone it. Maybe try and get a concise, clear brand story under a minute, utilizing AI, because I know I will definitely chat for over a minute if it's just me on my own. Get that and then put it out to the world, maybe see if it resonates with yourself, maybe some friends or family that you trust, that you know, and then maybe put it out to the world and see the reaction that you get from that as well.
And as we mentioned earlier, it's not always going to be right first time. It's going to evolve. It's just a case of trying and seeing how it goes, what you put in there.
So make sure you follow along with a brand new podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or even on YouTube, so you continue to learn about personal branding and get up-to-date episodes as they drop. We've also got the brand new podcast Instagram channel, so if you'd like to keep on top of the episodes and what we've got coming up on there as well, please give us a follow along. And also, if you've got any personal branding questions that you want to ask us, please send them through on that channel, DM us, and we will aim to answer them in future episodes.
A huge thank you again to Sparkhouse for supporting the podcast. If you're looking for any office space or desk space, get in touch with them and see what's going on.
Here's to branding you.